Welcome to SS2 Christian Religious Studies. This lesson examines one of the most celebrated passages in the entire Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, known as the Love chapter or Hymn to Love. We will study its content, its theological meaning, and its practical application for Christian ethics. 1 Corinthians is a letter written by the Apostle Paul to the church in Corinth, a prosperous Greek city in what is now modern Greece. Paul wrote this letter around 53 to 54 CE to address serious problems in the Corinthian church. The church members were divided into factions arguing about whose spiritual gifts were greatest. Some prized speaking in tongues above all other gifts, others valued prophecy or wisdom. In chapters 12 and 14, Paul discusses spiritual gifts extensively. But chapter 13 is deliberately placed between these chapters to make a crucial point, that love, agape in Greek, is greater than and essential to all spiritual gifts. Without love, even the most spectacular spiritual gifts are worthless. This is the rhetorical and theological purpose of the love chapter. It is not a poem about romantic love, it is a correction of a church that had become proud about its spiritual gifts but had forgotten the foundational virtue of Christian life, agape love. Let us study each section of this chapter. Verses 1 to 3, the priority of love. Paul begins with a series of dramatic comparisons. Even if I speak in the tongues of men and of angels but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. Even if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and even if I have a faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. Even if I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but have not love, I gain nothing. Notice the structure. Paul takes the most impressive spiritual abilities, speaking in tongues, prophecy, knowledge, miracle-working faith, even total self-sacrifice, and declares them worthless without love. This is radical. It means that impressive outward religious performance is spiritually empty if it lacks love. For Nigerian Christians, this passage challenges the tendency to judge spiritual maturity by spectacular gifts or visible service while neglecting the inner virtue of love. Verses 4 to 7 describe the qualities of agape love. Paul writes, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres." This is a list of 15 qualities of love, 8 negative, what love does not do, and 7 positive, what love does do. It is important to note, these qualities describe how love behaves in relationships, not an emotion but an action and a choice. Love is patient, macrothumia, long-suffering, enduring difficulties without bitterness. Love is kind, chrestomai, showing active goodness to others. It does not envy, zeloi, not being resentful of others' blessings. It is not proud, physiutai, not inflated with self-importance. Keeping no record of wrongs, logizestai, uses the Greek accounting term. Love does not keep a list of offenses to hold against someone. For Nigerian Christian communities, these qualities challenge patterns of rivalry, gossip, discrimination, and unforgiveness. Verses 8 to 13 establish the permanence of love compared to the temporary nature of all other spiritual gifts. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Paul uses the imagery of maturity. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. The famous conclusion, and now these three remain, faith, hope and love. But the greatest of these is love. The three theological virtues, faith, hope, and love, are the permanent qualities of Christian life. But love is greatest because in the age to come, when faith becomes sight and hope becomes reality, love will remain. It is the nature of God Himself. 1 John 4 verse 8, God is love, and will characterize eternal life. For WAEC, you should be able to explain why love is declared greater than faith and hope, and why spiritual gifts are described as temporary. Today we covered 1 Corinthians 13 as Paul's correction of a Corinthian church that prized spiritual gifts over love. Verses 1-3, without love, even the greatest spiritual gifts and sacrifices are worthless. Verses 4-7, 15 qualities of agape love describing how love behaves: patient, kind, not envious, not proud, keeping no record of wrongs, always protecting and persevering. Verses 8-13, love is permanent, spiritual gifts are temporary, faith, hope, and love remain, but love is greatest. For your essay, explain why Paul declares that speaking in tongues without love is like a resounding gong or clanging cymbal, and what this teaches about the relationship between spiritual gifts and Christian ethics.